Forgotten is forgiven. There are no second acts in American Lives. The test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposed ideas in mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function. Genius is the ability to put into effect what is on your mind. There are only the pursued, the pursuing, the busy and the tired. Though the jazz age continued, it became less and less an affair of youth. The sequel was like a children's party taken over by the elders. I'm a romantic, a sentimental person thinks things will last, a romantic person hopes against hope that they won't. Nothing is as obnoxious as other people's luck. Everybody's youth is a dream, a form of chemical madness. Great art is the contempt of a great man for small art. It is in the 30s that we want friends. In the 40s we know they won't save us any more than love did. To write it, it took 3 months, to conceive it 3 minutes, to collect the data in it all my life. You can stroke people with words. Personality is an unbroken series of successful gestures. His was a great sin who first invented consciousness. Let us lose it for a few hours. Genius goes around the world in its youth incessantly apologizing for having large feet. What wonder that later in life it should be inclined to raise those feet too swiftly to fools and bores. Never confuse a single defeat with a final defeat. Vitality shows in not only the ability to persist, but the ability to start over. In a real dark night of the soul, it is always 3 o'clock in the morning, day after day. At 18 our convictions are hills from which we look, at 45 they are caves in which we hide. No grand idea was ever born in a conference, but a lot of foolish ideas have died there. When people are taken out of their depths they lose their heads, no matter how charming a bluff they may put up. Either you think, or else others have to think for you and take power from you, pervert and discipline your natural tastes, civilize and sterilize you. The victor belongs to the spoils. Cut out all these exclamation points. An exclamation point is like laughing at your own joke. Speech is an arrangement of notes that will never be played again. Action is character. Some men have a necessity to be mean, as if they were exercising a faculty which they had to partially neglect since early childhood. The faces of most American women over 30 are relief maps of petulant and bewildered unhappiness. Her body calculated to a millimeter to suggest a bud yet guarantee a flower. My idea is always to reach my generation. The wise writer writes for the youth of his own generation, the critics of the next, and the schoolmasters of ever afterward. Advertising is a racket, like the movies and the brokerage business. You cannot be honest without admitting that its constructive contribution to humanity is exactly -0. Show me a hero and I'll write you a tragedy. Family quarrels are bitter things. They don't go according to any rules. They're not like aches or wounds, they're more like splits in the skin that won't heal because there's not enough material. Life is essentially a cheat, and its conditions are those of defeat. The redeeming things are not happiness and pleasure, but the deeper satisfactions that come out of struggle. Men get to be a mixture of the charming mannerisms of the women they have known. To a profound pessimist about life, being in danger is not depressing. Everyone suspects himself of at least one of the cardinal virtues. No such thing as a man willing to be honest, that would be like a blind man willing to see. No decent career was ever founded on a public